That man got my back.
Everybody wants the prayer, right?
I can tell you, I was very specific at this point in my life.
Ciara's prayer.
What's up? It's your boy, A to the L to the A to the N. I'm Alan.
And my name is Nicole.
And welcome to the House of Love podcast.
House of Love is a relationship podcast where real talk meets real solutions. Each episode, we tackle the difficult conversations around love, dating, marriage, intimacy, conflict, and so much more.
So whether you're single, in a relationship, or somewhere in between, House of Love offers laughter, wisdom, and some candid conversations about the everyday topics hot off the press. Because in the end, love wins.
And on today's episode, we are talking Ciara's prayer. We all know Ciara. We all know Ciara. She is a boss. She is a singer, dancer, mogul.
1 2 step.
Most importantly, now, aside from being a mom, she's also a wife.
Yes.
But it was a journey for her to get there.
Hold on. And Ciara, in case you're watching, or in case this video make it to you, looking good, girl. Keep doing your thing, girl. Come holler at your boy. A to the L to the A to the N.
Ciara is what healthy love looks like. So yeah, she is looking mighty fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She is a mom of 4 now.
4. Mm-hmm.
But before she met her now husband, she ended a series of relationships that didn't work out, right? She had a baby with rapper Future. And she said once that didn't work out, she felt like she wasn't going to date for a while. She was going to take some time for herself. And this is where Ciara's prayer was born.
Right. And I think it's worth noting that not only did those foundations of dating Future lead her to her future self and being a wife, but those foundational principles of what she learned from her prior relationships or mistakes got her fit, fine, married, and 4 kids later, over 40. She's looking good. Ciara, call me.
So I'm going to read Ciara's prayer, and then we're going to dive into why all the girls want this for themselves. Everybody's like, Ciara, I need your prayer. God, please give me a Russell. So yeah, let's read her prayer. Ciara's prayer. I pray the next man in my life will be my husband. I pray he loves me, guides me, reassures me. I pray that he holds me. I pray that I have everything I want and need in him. I pray he will love me the way that you love me. Your love is unconditional. You are the way, the truth, and the life. In you, there's hope. Lord, you say love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. I believe in this pure love. This is what I want. Lord, thank you for reminding me who I am. I am a queen. I deserve to be treated like one. I'm a warrior. I will get up. I'm a child of God. I'm everything you say I am. I'm an overcomer. I'm built for this. Lord, I'm ready. Woo! The girls want this.
But the girls, not only manifesting, you got to speak specific over your life, speak positivity over your life. Be around people that speak life into you, and you have to be very specific with your prayer.
I'm very specific because it's not only about me, but it's also about him now. So I can't play around. There's no more experimenting. Like, I thought I was going to be single for like 4 years. I had that in my mind. I was like, and I don't know why that number was 4 years, but I was like, I was really ready to like take my time.
The Lord grants very specific prayers based on where you are, where you hope to grow to, and then ultimately what you're willing to put in from a work standpoint to get you there. A lot of times people, women in particular, say, oh, I need my Russell, or when God gonna send me my Russell, and you still stuck on Russell Stover because you ain't did anything to move the needle other than the things you've been doing to get yourself in the same situation.
Like, take my time and be patient and let love really fall in place the right way, because I desire something new.
You ain't been to any place to get your your mentals in order. You hadn't been to any therapy. You hadn't been to anybody's gym. You hadn't been to anybody's nutritionist. You hadn't been to anybody's boot camp, if you will, when it comes to like relationships. A lot of times relationships become reflective. And one of the things that I admire Russell, and while we into it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is one of those conversations I think that's great to start off this love month. So that's why we want to start it off with Ciara's prayer, because there's a lot of single people out looking for love, right? So be specific over what you're looking for, because if you keep doing the same things expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. So we talk about the accountability piece, or we talk about relationships being reflective. A lot of times they're reflective because people are set in their ways and they wonder why they keep attracting the same type of person and wondering why they keep getting the same outcome. You're driving yourself insane.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point to kind of level set for people who are looking for that Russell, that people are trying to say Ciara's prayer and hope that it comes to life, right? What are you doing to make sure you're not making the same mistakes, making the same choices as men, right? A lot of times women don't, like you said, take accountability, do the reflective work before they go out here. And we have other episodes on this channel talking about don't bury broken pieces, going into the dating market when you're still broken. You cannot do that.
Check them out.
You cannot do that. And I think that's the problem a lot of times. Ciara said when she was on Angie Martinez's show, she's like, I had to sit with myself, and after I had my baby, I gained all this weight. I was eating like crazy, but I said, no, I'm going to get back on my fitness journey. I'm going to take care of myself.
Be pouring into you. So I'm not going to let someone steal my joy and my time. I need to be pouring into me.
So she was taking the steps to attract that man. I mean, she was preparing herself.
And she didn't know she was preparing herself for Russell, the Super Bowl winning quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. And he's been on various other teams that's made millions, right? Well, she don't have to work. Even though she already had her career, she already had things going for herself. I think her being in that space where she was like, I don't want to be this single, independent woman for the streets. I want a husband.
That man got my back. And it feels different, you know? That man, he's always there for me. Like, it's crazy. Like, I can't even explain it. Like,
and she became serious about what her needs were at the time and how she would meet those needs in order to achieve her wants. And I think it's also relative to the conversation that when she met Russell, she had to prove herself to Russell. It was like a Ruth and Boaz situation. If you hadn't checked out Ruth and Boaz on Netflix, check it out. It's a good synopsis of kind of, in my opinion, Ciara's prayer. Because Ciara does come from a background. Her dad was a pastor, so she a preacher kid as well. But those things that she did, purposeful and intentional, led her to the outcome that she has now. Everybody sees the glitz and the glamour, and they see how fit she is, and they see she still has a career and she can go on tour, and they see how she popped back after having babies. And hey, we even see Uncle Russ in a different light every now and then when he's lit or when they're doing TikToks together. But she would not have been in that space if she didn't do the work behind the scenes in her place of solitude.
Yeah, so when you're thinking about Ciara's prayer and wanting that for yourself, you can't just say, I want this without taking the necessary steps to initiate change for yourself in order to attract something different. And I think if you, take care of yourself, prepare yourself, do the work mentally. I think that's the biggest issue a lot of women have is you're mentally not in a good space, so you can't go out here and choose differently.
But you gotta fight through it.
You do.
Because one of the things about it, and we said this before in one of our conversations that we were discussing other scripts. If you think you're lonely now, what happens in a year, 5 years, 10 years? And then you're looking up and you like, well, you talked about the other day at Vivica Fox. You're 61, and it's like, where did my options go? Where did my life go? What did I do with the time? How did I mismanage my youth? And I think that's one of those things that you have to be conscious about. Even though we may feel differently about ourselves in our current state, life is still going on. So the sooner you get up to do something about your current state, the better you have a chance to elevate and to get what you want to achieve in life.
Yeah, and I will say this is an exercise I personally did, and this was kind of before Ciara's prayer, and I feel like Ciara kind of did this too, is before you go out here and pray for this man, before you go out here and say, God, bring me my soulmate, Lord, bring me this man, that man, whatever, you have to sit with yourself. Don't rush into it. And so one of the things I recommend for a woman who is consistently choosing wrong, consistently dating the guy, and y'all end up in the same situation, write down like your past relationships, all of your either serious relationships or flings that you've had in the past, I don't know, 5 or more years. And then just write down, okay, what kind of space was I in when I met this person? How did that relationship go? How did it end and why? And do that, and you'll start to see a pattern. And once you see that, then you can say, okay, this is what needs to change. Once you see a pattern, like sometimes for me, I'm writing it down. Sometimes you can talk it out. But if you don't find the pattern first, it's going to be very hard to avoid it again.
Yeah, and while Nicole's put that quite eloquently, y'all make sure to go follow Nicole on YouTube. Congratulations on your 1 million views.
Oh, thank you.
You just hit 4,000 subscribers at the start of the year, so she's continuing to grow over there on her side. So keep it going.
Thank
you. Lot of motivational content, a lot of daily reflective moments, a lot of journaling, a lot of DIY videos, world's best reviews, hair care products, and how to maintain your femininity and all that you do to be a boss chick as a single mom. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. And that brings me to something else Ciara said. When she met Russell, her baby future was a baby.
Right.
I didn't really realize that or put that together, but I think because she prepared herself in the best way, of course she's Ciara as well, right? But he assumed kind of a father figure role from the very early on.
Yeah, he was very young. He was 3, I think, or 2 or 3 when they first met.
She said he was still sleeping with her, and he was still sleeping in a playpen. So he was very young, and he was in diapers actually, because she said Russell came in immediately changing diapers, so he was in diapers. So I think a lot of women lose hope if they do have a young baby when they're going into trying to find their Russell or their soulmate. So from a man's perspective, can you talk a little bit about the women who feel like, I have a baby in diapers. I'm going to put in the work for myself and try to take accountability and, kind of change my life, but I still want my soulmate. What do you say to them? What are their chances of finding their soulmate when they do have a small child?
Yeah, I think, I'm a realist. Sometimes you get on me for being too direct, but I'm gonna be direct. You don't have a chance right now, right? But keep it at 1 kid, right? Raise that kid. Maybe when he gets, we have a rule of thumb, and that's kind of how dating has gone since COVID, really, since 2020. If the kid is under 5, we just having fun. We know you got to prioritize your kid. We know you got to change diapers. We know you got to get them to daycare, pick them up from daycare. We know you have limited time. So while you have limited time, we're going to try to spend or occupy some time, maybe when the kid go to sleep at 8:30. So that's why you get them late night texts or late night phone calls. But those first 5 years are going to be tough. So you got to ride it out. Everybody's not Ciara.
Are you saying they shouldn't be trying to attract that man when
you shouldn't be trying to attract or pursue a serious relationship, because your kid is the most important. I would battle that in the court of law with anybody. Your kid should be your priority, especially if you're single and you got nobody. A lot of women nowadays don't have the support system. They don't have the big mama or the grandma, 45, 50. She don't want to be watching no baby. She want to go out and enjoy her life too. Yeah. So it's going to be tough, right? Impossible? No. But realistically speaking, it's going to be tough, because in our mind, within those first 5 years, you still messing with the baby daddy. Or there has the potential to be that bond there where you still want to make it work and you still want to see your family together. It's still fresh, yeah. So everybody's not Ciara. Ciara is, a multi-millionaire, and she had her own fame, and she had her own name, right? With you being, which most of us, 90% of us are average. We're average people, right? You got the 10% that's in the kind of above average category, and then you got the 1% that's in the elite category. Those statistics won't change. So you have to be realistic with going to the dating market while you have a young kid. But you want to keep it at one, because we'll give you 2 from the same man at most. Especially if, you were married. But if you 2 kids, 2 child's fathers, it's going to be tough. You just shrink your dating pool, because guess what?
So not impossible, but
correct. Tough. You shrink your dating pool because your standards are still here. And now that you got kids, guess what you just did? You elevated your standards, right? Because it's got to be a certain type of guy that comes in that has to be trustworthy, that's not a creep or have mental issues or that'll discipline your kids and you didn't ask them to, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of kids that get caught up in women's entanglements with men that shouldn't be around their kids in the beginning, and that gives off desperation. If the guy coming to live with you, if the guy is not providing, if the guy is just you're taking on 2 kids essentially, that's what makes it tough. Bringing it back, it's not impossible, but it definitely, in a realistic standpoint, which most of us are, again, average people, it's going to be tough. So my suggestion: go in a place of solitude. Go in a place of reflective, similar to what Ciara did. Be specific about what it is that you want, but just don't pray it. Just don't pray it out loud. Just don't manifest it. Put the actions behind it. Hey, I'm going to fast from social media for 6 months. Hey, I'm going to go to church, twice a week. Hey, I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week. Hey, I'm going to, instead of going to clubs and hanging out till 2 or 3 in the morning, maybe I go to happy hours and be around more professional people. You got to put yourself in those spaces to meet a higher caliber of man than what you used to.
Yeah, I think it boils down to pour into yourself, right? Pour into yourself. A lot of women are or find themselves in desperate situations, especially if they're getting older, especially if they know they have 2 kids by 2 different men. It's like, I'm going to take what I can get, but at the same time, you want Ciara's prayer. You want True Russell. So it's like, you kind of have to just focus on pouring into yourself. And then I think that man will come.
And I think just hearing you say that, pouring into yourself, right? When we think about pour, be positive, be optimistic, be understanding, and be respectful, right? So those 4, P-O-U-R, those 4 will be a good foundational to get yourself back on the right track.
Okay, so, I mean, at this point, we talked a lot about, Ciara's journey, her prayer, what women can do to get to a place where they can manifest or pray for that husband. So with that being said, I think my biggest advice for women, because this is, kind of something I've experienced as well, is don't be desperate and don't force anything. Those are 2 things. When you're looking for your soulmate, your husband, you feel like you're ready, outside of pouring into yourself, don't be desperate and don't just accept or settle. Granted, I know a lot of women have high expectations, but when you settle or when you force things that it doesn't feel right, you set yourself up for failure again.
And when we say settle, we mean settling for situations that are not going to be favorable. We're not talking about people.
Yeah, exactly. And to note, Ciara also said when she met Russ, she knew, she felt it, right? And so a lot of times when you are forcing something, it's not right. It doesn't feel right. This man is, you let him slide because maybe he said he was going to do something. He didn't show up the way he said he was, or he's inconsistent. You're letting things slide, and that is settling.
Forcing a square.
That is forcing a situation.
Forcing a square in a round hole will never work. And I think, one of the things that Russell did that women need to be aware of as well, in case you hadn't heard Russell's side of it, he told her, you got to denounce everything that was detrimental to you during your time where you were getting your career off the ground, dealing with future. You got to renounce all of that and start fresh with me. They didn't have intimacy for a year. Russ made sure she was in church. Russ made sure she was becoming a virtuous woman, a Proverbs 31 woman at that. Russ made sure that she was showing him how serious she was about finding true love and a husband by her actions, not just her words, not just by her prayer, but by her actions. And I think that's when Russ was like, oh, she was serious. You see them in the past worshiping God together. We put that picture in here as well for you to see. But those are the things that you have to be willing to sacrifice. And it ain't, he controlling her. No. It's about being submissive. It's about, and again, when we say submissive, a lot of women like, he ain't finna, I'm strong, I'm in. It ain't about that. It's about understanding your role, not only in life, but in being a wife and becoming a wife. Everybody has to play a certain role in a respective relationship, friendship, marriage, etc. So when you're doing that, you have to abide by the rules to keep everything in the straight and narrow to avoid the chaos. Having dreams of having a kid without having dreams of having marriage, that's everybody's personal preference. That doesn't make it right. It creates a broken home, which we want fewer of at the house of love. It creates chaos and confusion, which we don't want for your future health and relationship success. And it creates a damaged brokenness on the inside that we want you to be healed from your trauma. We want you to learn from your past. We want you to grow in order for you to attract and in order for you to dress the way you want to be addressed. If you want to be addressed by doctor, if you want to be addressed by Miss and Mr. and Mrs., if you want to be addressed by mom and wife, and you want to be addressed with girl, look at that ring, and you want to be people to ask you, hey, what did you do? Or I remember when you used to run the streets, girl. I remember when you used to be Coco. Now you Nicole. What did you do to change, right? Those things are important to help guide, teach, and for people to learn from your past and that you can overcome.
Most women don't want to hear that, right? We don't want to hear you got to be submissive. We don't want to hear that you got to be that you got to back down, especially when you're a strong, independent woman, right? But if you look at Ciara and her journey, and it was a sacrifice, right? To follow Russ's rules.
Sacrifice, yep.
So you sacrifice for, look at her now, long-term happiness, right? All these kids she gave him, right?
You gotta sacrifice short-term for the long-term greater success.
Yes, and when I say that, the perfect example is it may have been uncomfortable at first. It may have been something she wasn't 100% used to, but you can tell in the footage we see of them, in the way she speaks.
In the way she light up when she talk about it.
But not only that, she's happy. You know what I'm saying?
Genuinely happy.
She's genuinely happy.
It don't feel forced. It don't feel
even when she's
rehearsed.
pregnant, even after she gives birth.
Oh, she glowing when she's pregnant. She still,
well, a lot of women
still fine when you're pregnant.
A lot of women are glowing when they're pregnant, right?
Uncle Russ, and every time she try to get a tour started or she want to do something new with her career or start a movie or whatever,
is on the way.
Stop knocking her up, please. We want to see her in her nice 40 and fit firmness. We don't want her to be pregnant every time we turn around.
Yeah, no, but I just say that to say sometimes you do have to sacrifice, even though it's not what you're used to, for that long-term happiness. Because she never looks miserable. She never looks unhappy. She looks genuinely happy.
Now, granted, we don't know what goes on behind.
We don't, and I'm sure everything's not perfect, right? But I think when you have such a solid foundation, it makes everything that much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, one of the part in the prayer that stood out to me, and I want to pull it up. At the end, she quoted 1 Corinthians 13, starting at verse 4, where it talks, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrongdoings. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. It always protects, trusts, provides hope, and always perseveres. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, there will cease. Where there are tongues, there will be still. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. When I was a child, I talked and thought like a child and reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put beside my childish ways. Of all of these, 3 remain: faith, hope, love. But the greatest of these are love. And I think when you put that prayer into motion, as it's in motion, you can put your thoughts into actions. As your actions are in motion, you're developing good habits. As those habits are developing, you're elevating your lifestyle. And as your lifestyle elevates, you have a more fulfilling and happy, joyous experience in this thing we call life.
Yeah, and with that said, thanks for tuning in. We pray that the love that you deserve finds you. And we pray that you take the necessary steps to make that happen for yourself, to better yourself for a healthy love and relationship. And again, thanks for tuning in to today's episode of House of Love.
It's 2026. We're not dealing with anything in the past. We're leaving the past where it is. Ladies, we're not allowing men to waste our time. Men, we're not allowing ladies to waste our time. We're being intentional. We're moving with purpose. We're moving with passion, and we're moving in the spirit of love. Because in the end, love wins.